let's bring in Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O'Leary Ventures. Kevin, talk to us about the reaction from the inflation reading we got this morning, the first of two reports showing a little bit cooling more than expected. What does that mean for you in terms of how many Fed rate cuts you're thinking we'll get?
I don't think it's enough. I mean, the debate amongst investors right now is that September going to be a 50 basis point cut or 25. What this report tells me, and you look at the bond rates, the 2 and the 10-year, inflation is very, very, very sticky. And it's very difficult for the Fed to maneuver here because their mandate is 2%, not 2.5%, not 2 3/4, 2%. So do they take the brakes off now and to start cutting right now? I think it's iffy. I'm kind of in the maybe 25 basis point wait and see. But that report, while interesting, there's still a lot of inflation in the system.
Kevin, we're putting up boards of how the markets have moved this year, this week, this month. Ultimately, the sell-off that we saw last week, we've recouped all those losses already. It was kind of spurred by that weak jobs report. But having said that, investors are right back in the game. If you want to get in the market here, did you miss your chance, or do you think there's still opportunity?
Oh, there's opportunity. Remember, it's not the Fed ultimately that drives equities. It's earnings. That's what makes it move. And so people are trying to guess what is the story on earnings. And right now, the economy, although there's some weakness in consumer data, is remarkably resilient, particularly around the promise of AI productivity in the next 2 years. The market looks out about 2 years, as far as it can see. What has been destabilizing are two things. That sell-off was a result of two things. One, the extremely high price-earning ratios of 8 or 9 tech stocks that are over 40 times when really the market trades at 30. So when those things go down, it pulls down the full S&P 500. But also, we lack policy as investors. I don't care if you're blue or red or independent. We need to know everybody's policy. And that's what we're starving for. Now, most of us make the assumption that Harris and her team will give us platform policy after the convention. So we're waiting for that. If she doesn't, that'll get a little crazy because there's going to be a lot more volatility in the market because we don't know where she stands. I mean, she's done a great job raising money and getting volunteers, but at some point you got to talk to a reporter. I don't know when that is, but I assume, like everybody else, it's going to be after the convention.
Kevin, let me ask you about that because Harris and her team are saying, hey, she's turned over a new leaf. This is not the Kamala Harris of 2019. She's something different. Of course, she embraced the no tax on tips idea. Do you think we have a different Kamala when it comes to the economy?
Well, she can say that through her, spokespeople, but I'm a show me person. If you've really changed, if you're really going to the middle with policy, show me. Get in front of a reporter. Let them ask you some questions and give your platform out. Last time she tried to do that in 2020, she flamed out pretty fast. So if she's really changed and learned something in the last 36 months, we're all going to find out. And remember, when it comes to investing, I'm bipartisan. I'll invest with Democrats or Republicans, but I got to know the platform. I got to know the policy. So if she's really going to move to the middle on things like fracking and energy and border and interest rates and foreign affairs and all that stuff, bring it. It's time to bring it. And I get the strategy after the convention. She's got to do it.
Let's talk about investing. You would know the statistics more than I would, Kevin, but the latest reading I saw was almost 60% of Americans are invested in the market, whether it's a pension, a 401k, and yet the Democrat VP nominee, Tim Walz, has zero money in investments. What do you make of someone trying to run the country with zero investment acumen?
I didn't know anything about the VP candidate, Tim, and so I did some digging last week. I got the data last Friday. He is not a good manager. If you look at his stewardship of his state, Minnesota, it's been not good. And I'll tell you how I measure it. People say, oh, you're partisan. No, I'm not. I'm looking at the track record of an individual who came into a state and wiped out job creation. He wiped out job creation in professional, in manufacturing, in accounting, in every subcategory you look at. Those jobs moved to South Dakota and North Dakota. The South Dakota job rate right now is 4 times that of Minnesota. Minnesota only creates jobs in services that are funded by the government, healthcare and social services. Every other sector is in decline. He's also added a surcharge of 1%, 100 basis points, on top of 9.8% taxes on individuals that are retiring. And of course they're leaving the state in droves. And he's the best governor for Texas, for Florida, for North and South Dakota, but not for Minnesota.
And that's exactly right. That's where they all went, Kevin. Let's finish with this. I'm not sure if you were watching or listening, rather, to the Trump-Elon Musk conversation, we'll call it, last night on Twitter. But at one point, Elon Musk said that he would work in a Trump White House. And this is something President Trump had a lot of success with before. He is a businessman first, and he surrounds himself with smart business leaders who can take on different roles. It doesn't just have to be economy. It could be energy, all different kinds of stuff. This is not something that we're seeing from this Harris-Walz ticket.
You know, I have to disclose something. I am a huge fan of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And for full disclosure, my son works for him and loves his job at Tesla. And I think that guy is a modern-day Bruce Wayne. If he got involved with government, it would be a good thing for everybody in America. The guy's a no BS guy. He's very transparent. And he really knows what he's doing. He has executional skills. You may not like him. You may not like his communication styles. But look at what he's accomplished. If we could get more Elon Musk into government, this country would not be in the situation it's in, divided so much.
Yeah, brilliant. Kevin, always great to have you on the show. We love seeing you. Thank you.
Take care.